gonna give a little bit of time for people to get up in here, but because we got to do the regular rigmarole, here it go. What is Snack X? It's your boy Gage, Joe Anson in the building.
Fattening.
We got special guest Stephen Jones.
Hello, everyone.
Art-o-torium with us. What's up,
yes,
Stephen?
Sir. Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. I'm here.
My man. So here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna talk to Stephen about some of his work, his artwork, some of what he does, for sure. You all know how we do. If y'all have specific questions for Stephen, y'all can drop those in the chat. We'll keep our eyes on them. What's up, Marcus? But this is going to be an action-packed show.
Yes, sir.
Point at the back. Let me just make sure we know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an action-packed show, y'all. I'm just saying. So, and you know what? Y'all know normally this is a show that happens on Tuesday. We had to push it back to the day. It might just be that the fates line.
Everything happens for a reason.
Hey, it always does. Because
You know
always
what I mean?
gaming always lined up on Thursdays for whatever reason. So
you know what?
Hey,
it might just be a sign. You know what I'm saying? It might just be a sign. So yeah, we definitely have Spider-Man stuff to talk about. We got MCU stuff to talk about as a whole. We got Disney stuff to talk about as a whole. Apparently, there's a lot of anime stuff brewing as a whole. There's a lot to discuss. However, I want to do something first we haven't done in quite some time. So curveball.
Here we go.
We haven't had a curveball in a minute. Here's the deal. Okay, gentlemen. You just died.
damn.
You was by yourself at night walking through the street. It's dark. Something got you. Here's what I want to know. By preference, do you wake up a vampire or a werewolf?
Vampire.
Oh, vampire.
Yeah, vampire.
Vampire. That easy. Now,
Vampire.
before we get into why you chose vampire, tell me why werewolves are weak.
I don't know. As a werewolf, I mean, granted, we've seen how werewolf stories and vampire stories go, but I feel like I'm not gonna be able to talk and all these different type of things. I mean, I don't know. Vampire, I feel like I have, other than not being able to go out in the sun, I can't eat garlic and type stuff like that.
Marcus says lichen. He's on a waiver. Ty
Yeah,
says
hey.
werewolf. That sounds about right for you, Ty.
A Superman fan would say werewolf.
Oh boy!
Already.
Here we go. Yeah, I'm okay. So you don't like it's for you, Joe. Let me just make sure I got this clear. For you, it is your concern about when you are a werewolf not being able to speak.
Potentially. I know. That was just a reason. Why do you want to make that the reason? That's not the reason.
I mean, bro, that's the reason you just gave, sir. Let me just say, this is on the internet. It's too late to take it back.
I ain't taking Jack back. I know what I said.
Hey, Ty, listen. Superman is not the greatest hero of all time, but there is the greatest American hero. And if you can sing the theme song or quote notes from it in the chat, you get like 10 extra points. Sin.
Yeah.
Why vampire over werewolf?
How can I say this in a PG way?
Knowing you can't.
Listen,
Vampires.
the Twilight though?
Vampire get youngins. All right, werewolves don't.
Oh, okay.
And they got powers. You know what I mean? I ain't got to be shackled down with a full moon show up. Like,
Hey, Ty, a vampire in the age of COVID, you'll pass. I have a question. You wouldn't assume that vampires are maybe like immune to COVID? Like, I don't think vampires get sick. Like, I don't even think they get cold. Can they get cold? Yo, vampire sneezing to set me off. Let's see. Marcus said vampires' hearts don't beat, therefore they can't get it up if you're a dude.
Have the movies been lying to me all this time? I'm just saying.
Yeah, because I don't know, something ain't right with that.
Right.
I don't think that's how it works with I mean, listen, if we're gonna start talking biology and vampires, you're already dead, bro. So I don't know. GR in the chat, greatest American hero. Hey, bro, that show was fire. Let me just tell you how the theme song to that show was one of the first 45s I ever owned. Hey, Jokes, what's a 45?
Yeah, the album.
I know what a 45 is. May not own them, but I know what a 45 is, damn it.
What's a 45? Don't tell me you know it, man.
It's not the normal size of a record. It's smaller.
Okay, but the correct answer is not a good Jokes.
Do you listen? Do you need an adapter to play a 45?
Yes, you do.
My man, all right, listen. Hey, listen.
Oh, that's so cool. You're taking it back.
Look.
You're
I've
taking
been
it
in my
back.
grandmother's basement at one point, and trust, there was boxes and things stacked up. I asked that question originally. I was like, why does this one have like a little thing in the middle? It's like, do you see this one? Do you see this one? Oh,
you got the explanation. All right, I like that. Frosty, we're talking about vampires because they all just died and they had to choose if they wake up as a vampire or a werewolf. So, Stefan.
All right, so my thing is this. I'm going to throw something at y'all too as well, but I'm a huge fan of Underworld. And the werewolves was always broke. They was always broke. They was always broke.
hey.
Living in a trailer somewhere.
Yeah, the werewolves was broke. The vampires always have money. They had the mansions. They had the cars.
I mean, that's true.
The dope clothes.
That's true. That's what it is. Let me just make sure I got this. You assume that because in the movies they always have bread and come for money. If you get bit, you just get money? Like, wait, I'm just make sure I understand
that's
this.
the case. Take your arm now. Bite me.
Because like if that's the case, I'm looking for a vampire right now.
You think I
Bite me. Let's do this.
Compelling chick the first
Yeah, I mean, real talk, like werewolves just be living they'd be in the wood.
Right.
Just be in the forest.
Chilling.
Wow, Greg, werewolves with a black folk. Wow, Greg. Leah said vampires always had a Benjamins. You know, you have a point. And they do, and you're right, Frosty. Werewolves do have a terrible transformation. Nah, hey, listen, Ellis, let's not give Jokes any extra like points for saying he got my 45s from Best Buy.
I knew that way before that.
That much. They were the first aristocrats. That's why vampires got money. Yeah, but like, come on, it's some broke vampires. I just feel like they could like you could go into a store and just be like, and convince, I'm sure, with your vampire magic, I really want that shirt. But werewolves, they don't care. They don't need her. They just stand up anyway.
Just live near a creek.
You might be right. Yeah, for a couple of seasons, my man. Listen, all right, that's cool. Nobody wanted to wake up a combination of the two. The bastard child of Nah, that's not a move.
Look, I tried to answer the question that you asked, so y'all don't jump on me.
Hey, listen, bro.
So I kept it straight.
It's a good curveball, though. It's a real good curveball.
All right, I'm with that. That's nice for setting the show up. Let's talk about Spider-Man because, well, that's the most important thing that happened at all today. So let's just do it. And here's what I want to do. I want to start with yesterday. So yesterday, we got trolled hard. Like Instagram and Twitter, Zendaya and Jacob and Tom were dropping false titles, back to back. And I was convinced. I was like, oh, it's all of these joints. It's the Spider-Verse. They're just going to drop it.
Drop all these.
I didn't believe any of them joints.
At first, I thought maybe they were going to keep going, and maybe one of them was suddenly going to drop the actual one in there for us to kind of figure out. But obviously, some of them just weren't going to make the cut.
Yeah, none of the names stuck with me. I was like, nah, they're doing something here. These ain't the names.
listen, I was almost at the time I was thinking, all right, maybe like you said, Jokes, they're just gonna keep dropping names, and then they're just gonna go away because everybody thinks it's gonna be something home because the last two movies had home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if they just completely go away from that and they don't call it home anything? They just,
that would have been dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would have been too much like right. So they didn't. And No Way Home is officially the name of the new Spider-Man movie, coming December 17th. Hey, listen, you right, Ty. Listen, the MCU is so much better than DC that I have to put everything.
Thousand.
Can you say that louder for the people in the back?
Nah, they heard me in the back. They heard me in the back. Repitan, por favor. Yeah, like realistically, okay. We've already talked about the idea that this is probably something related to Spider-Verse. We've heard all the rumors about the other folks who played Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire possibly showing up. You know what I mean? We know that for some reason they've decided Blue Electro should be a thing, I guess.
Hey. Blue Electro is a thing again.
I don't, maybe he won't be. That's a great question, Leah. You know what, Leah, you're my new
DC makes some good shoes. I don't know if you peeped them. They make some good shoes.
They're a city without a state. They got taxation without representation.
Oh,
but good movies.
That's what they struggle at.
So here's what I want to know. Based on the name. Wow.
Doesn't compete.
Frosty.
Wow, that's a good one.
You just bumped here. You are my new favorite.
Is this gonna be a thing for the rest of the night? DC, we gonna make some DC things out here?
I actually like that.
See how you didn't capitalize the C in DC? We're not listening to you.
No respect. You didn't even put respect on their name.
No respect on their name.
Like DC.
I want to know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that the name No Way Home is a little tricky? Mm-hmm. What do you think that means? Based on where we ended at the end of the last movie, right? Mm-hmm. Pete drops off MJ, and J. Jonah Jameson jumps on the big screen, plays the video, calls out my man, snitches. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he's a murderer.
Oh, that was crazy.
You know what I mean?
I wasn't ready for that.
Yo, listen, Ty, you were banking on that Snyder cut, sir.
They putting the money on that one.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. Clearly, you have 4 hours to possibly waste. Clearly, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, man. No Way Home for the all Spideys to go home as they know it, which is totally possible. I'm with that 100%. Jokes, we talked about this earlier, man. We were in the chat talking on team, and you were saying that you think there might be possibilities. Talk to me, man. What are you thinking?
So to answer the question that you just asked, like tying it into the last movie. So obviously Pete's gonna be on the run is what that sounds like. And it just sounds like, you know what, my man can't go home. They know where he lives. Like that would be the basic concept that can't go about what that would mean for it.
100%.
But what I was thinking a little bit kind of outside of the box. So we know we have these other villains that are going to be showing up in this movie, and clearly we're crossing Spider-Man movies. So we're crossing universes, whatever you want to call it.
Multiverse.
So let's say, for example, like we know potentially we're being set up for the Sinister Six. Now, whether that's on Sony side and they decide to do it over there, or maybe this may end up being a conjunction with Marvel and Sony. Maybe we see the villains are not able to go back to their home dimensions, multiverse, wherever you want to say. And you know what? They are stuck, and this is kind of the catalyst to begin, and we may see something like that happen. The second side that I threw out, which for those that are familiar within the Spider-Man universe, they have had their clone sagas throughout the whole entire run of the Spider-Man comics. So maybe as a twist to the MCU, maybe we don't necessarily get the clone saga, but let's say one or both Pete's stay in there. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire end up staying in if they are in the movie. Maybe instead of doing the clone thing, they do assume other identities. So kind of like a Ben Reilly. So instead of saying that this is a clone of Peter Parker, you know what? It is Peter Parker. But for the sake of, I guess, trying to keep a tight lip on the multiverse thing, at least as of right now, they take on new identities. Now, that could be a whole slew of things that they can create, but potentials. Like, I like to think something a little out of the ordinary. I mean, MCU's been doing this thing, so.
Hey, bro, listen, at this point, almost anything, I do want to take a moment to just recognize what Ty, listen, Ty, you say some stuff I don't like, but quick crazy theory that, you know, could MJ really be Firestar? Realistically, anything is possible.
Yep.
You know what I mean? At this point, like, because it doesn't even necessarily have to be the MJ as we know it. It could be to anybody else.
Game over.
What up?
Oh yeah, Leah. The background. It's not, at least for the rest of this month. That's not gonna go anywhere. We're in 25th anniversary month. So
my man is in full Pokemon mode right now.
So it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay.
You know, the idea that she could be Firestar would be crazy. However, I would hate it if there was no Iceman. That would destroy me if they did that. And I'll be honest, I don't really want her character to get powers. You know what I mean? Like that would bother me.
She on Firestar. Does Ned become Iceman?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, I think you could be right. I do think though.
You got school tomorrow?
Probably don't get the other Peters.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do we get Miles? Do we get Gwen?
High possibilities.
Because realistically, we know that Tom has at least one more ensemble film to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that Sony's continued pursuance of the license for Spider-Man characters, either they have to bring in a new Spider-Man, so Miles or Gwen or both.
Mm-hmm.
They have to replace Peter with a new younger Peter, right? Which is a possibility if you're doing Spider-Verse. Because there has to be somebody for the Sinister Six to fight.
Most definitely.
And if Holland doesn't have any more solo movies to do,
I think it's Miles.
I would say Miles too, but I would most certainly not put Gwen past it. I mean, I can see the two of them being in a movie together.
I think Gwen would be the way to possibly, because the thing is, with Miles, have them go back and forth, because we got the Spider-Verse animated thing.
Hold on. Marcus, get out of the chat. Iceman and Aquaman, no way. Yeah. Iceman a body Aquaman in a heartbeat.
I will give you that. That's 100%.
Iceman a body Aquaman. Please don't do this. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole with y'all. Iceman a body Superman. Iceman a body Aquaman. Let's don't do that. Clearly, we're gonna end up having to do this. I already know. You already know it. Yeah, I mean, I think Gwen is a way to go. Stephen, what are you thinking, man? I mean,
hey, Gage, I got a question for you.
Sure.
And I'm just listening to everybody, and I'm following your lead on this, but it causes me to generate a question for everybody, and I know y'all run with this. Who would have to be a cameo in order to make the movie go viral? You know, I would love to hear your opinion on this. Even if it's just about, you know, outside of the initial individuals that you think are going to be in the movie, who would have to walk across the screen or be in the background and the movie would automatically go viral? I say Miles, but I would love to hear your opinion. That would set up for movies down the line.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say Miles.
Miles definitely. Yeah. Obviously, if we see the other two Petes, even if they decide not to continue with the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, if the two of them just showed up for 10 seconds, whether it was to punch one of the villains and then to float back into their own dimension, it's going to be lost. Now, who knows? That'll be in the trailer. And for all this we see in the trailer, that is their scene in the movie. And then we may get them say goodbye to Tom Holland, and then they gone. And that's it. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
That's all it would take. It's just whoever y'all think just needs to walk across the screen and it'll have everybody going crazy.
And I wouldn't even say it's a need. I wouldn't even say it's a need. I think that would just be a nice little bow. I would
like to see Miles get introduced in this movie, and possibly in whatever Tom Holland's last ensemble thing is, kind of have that pass of the torch thing to Miles before he gets sent off. I would like to see that happen. But you know,
here's the problem I have with that. I think right now, Tom Holland's version of Peter Parker doesn't have enough experience to pass the torch to another Spider-Man. He don't know enough.
I get that.
He don't know enough about being Spider-Man to be able to pass the torch to Miles, right? However, if they handle it right and we just establish that the multiverse, the Spider-Verse does exist, right? And that there are these other universes where that is. And I was going to say the exact same thing, is if Donald Glover shows up as the Prowler, it's kind of already locked in. We already know he exists. He just isn't a Prowler yet. Yep. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of potential for them to set this up. Mimic exactly what happened in the Spider-Verse movie already. You know what I'm saying? But if they give us Donald Glover as the Prowler, if they put him in anything that even looks like black and purple with claws and skates, bro, like he could be on rollerblades, bro, and I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, listen, Chris, you should bring in Spider-Man Jordans out of retirement anyway. Okay, we're definitely sure that Sony and Disney can't make another deal. Nah, I mean, I think Sony and Disney have already made a deal. I don't think there's an issue with that. I think the issue is that if they're not careful about what they do, how they position Tom, right? Because technically, outside of Monica Rambeau right now, as far as like anybody they're introducing that might be part of Young Avengers, which appears to be the direction they're going.
Oh wow.
That would literally make Peter the old head. Like Pete would be older than all of the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Depending on how old they are if they pull them out of the Spider-Verse, right? They might be more experienced than him and have been around for longer than him and possibly even know more than him. You know what I mean? For whatever reason.
Would you like to see Tobey Maguire come back and kind of play that role?
No, dog. No, I don't need him to do that. Like for Tobey Maguire, the two things I would be cool with seeing is obviously him just as Pete on screen, whatever, or if somehow maybe he ends up being Uncle Ben to Tom Holland. Maybe he sees him and it's like, Uncle Ben? Hey.
I mean, it's possible, right? Can you imagine for a second that Tom manages to get into another universe where his uncle isn't dead?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Where that didn't happen. What's up, Perk?
Yeah, you're right.
And just to see that conversation, because hearing Tobey Maguire, say as Uncle Ben, be like, you know what, I'm proud of you. You've done what I've said. With great power comes great responsibility. We'll get to see him tie those things up that he said. Like you don't want him to say.
I don't want to see him do any of that. I just don't. Like I
don't want to see him dance. Maybe he'll dance on screen for a couple
seconds. Oh Lord, no.
I don't mind if he can dance. That's cool. Like
nah. I'll walk out the theater.
He shows up as the Venom. Like maybe. I mean, here's the other thing, because that's the other thing I feel like needs to happen. I would love for them to introduce Venom, and I think it would be too much. But I would love to see them introduce Venom, even if it's somebody else's universe. But the fact that there is a Venom that is from somebody else's universe, right? Because currently the Venom that we have is technically not part of the MCU, but is technically part of the Spider-Man ethos that Sony is creating, and he didn't get any of his abilities from being attached to a Spider-Man at any time, right? It's just wrong. I don't care if you like the movie or not. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is. So unless my man Flash Thompson ends up like, yeah, we're graduating from high school, I'm going into the military, and they start hitting up that Venom joint. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Hitting up that thunder. There's so many directions they go with this. I'm out of control right now. Like, I don't even know.
And it's a possibility because they're going to bring back some of the villains. So you guys all make valid points. We know they are bringing back some of the villains from the other movies.
Yeah,
correct.
Sinister Six is coming.
Yeah, they can do
So this is going to be crazy.
But the other thing about it is they're also doing Mobius, right? So we know that's going to have to happen.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
in the same universe, or at least it's
You're right. Yep,
but
you're right.
completely separated. So does Mobius tie into Blade? Like,
Blade. Oh my god!
Just because Spider-Man is tied to the MCU the way he has been, is Morbius going to be tied to Blade? Or something in some way. Could that have something to do with anybody else that shows up in the Spider-Verse?
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Remember, we also got Carnage coming too with the next Venom movie.
Got what?
Carnage coming with the next Venom movie.
Correct.
But the only thing with that is we need the right version of Venom. Like I'm cool with the Venom that we have, but whether Venom interacts with one of the Peters or Toby or whatever it is to get the abilities of Spider-Man, then at some point Venom fights Carnage and Carnage does whatever to absorb the ability. That's just the key piece for me. I think they did a good job with Venom what they had, and obviously not being able to use the MCU side, but it's still not the right version just yet.
Perp Mind is saying Spider-Man 4 is going to be Spider-Man versus Venom. I think you could absolutely be right. I just don't think it'll have anything to do with Peter. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably going to be Miles and or Gwen, who they have done an immaculate job of doing a run in the comics as Gwenom.
Yep.
It could be that Miles is teamed up with the current Venom to fight Anti-Venom or Carnage.
Ooh.
Right? Like there's so many different directions for all of what's happening. That is it's out of control. And like
the Spider-Verse itself is just almost as vast on its own. You know what I'm saying? With outside of just the Marvel universe and everything. Like it's ridiculous.
Spider-Verse is its own standalone thing. Yeah. And there's so many characters that haven't been introduced. Like, don't even get if Madam Web ever showed up and somehow integrated her into the storyline.
I just still want Kraven.
Yeah, oh my god, Kraven.
That's what I want. I still want an on-screen Kraven.
You might even get a cameo of him.
Well, I mean, he's a member of the Sinister Six.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
so we may even get that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the other thing.
Ooh.
The end of the last, like we've been talking, especially in Spoiler Boys. We've been talking about them dropping little hints that the Fantastic Four is a thing, right? Mm-hmm. And in the last Spider-Man movie at the end, when he's swinging past the old Avengers Tower, I mean, it just seriously looks like they're changing it into the Baxter Building, right? So, and Spider-Man has been intrinsically tied to the Fantastic Four in the comics. There's just kind of no two ways about it. Whether or not the Disney does a deal to keep Tom Holland as Spider-Man remains to be seen. I think it depends on how well people latch on to whoever else they bring in as another Spidey. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. But here's what I want to do. I want to go over what the current release schedule is, because all of what's getting ready to happen in the MCU is obviously going to have some sort of effect on this, unless this movie takes place in the past, which is totally possible because of what they
is.
So, Black Widow, May 7th. All right, which we already know takes place in the past. But if there's one thing Marvel does, it's after credit scenes. That joint could be anywhere. Okay.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
So that's May. So then a month later, 2 months later in July, we get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So that in and of itself means that we're introducing like the real Mandarin.
Yeah.
We're back on magic. We're back with multiverse. We're back with a Doctor Strange villain. So that could be nuts. Okay. Then November 5th, we get Eternals. Again, even with some of what's happening just in WandaVision now, could possibly be tied to things that are happening in Eternals. So we're in space and we're gods. We're doing it all. You know what I mean? Then Spider-Man Homecoming or Spider-Man 3, which is December 17th. So it's only a month between those two movies. And again, we're in the multiverse. Thor: Love and Thunder is May of 2022. Doctor Strange is not until March 25th of 2022.
God.
So we're more than a year out from when what we feel like is going to put a wrap on what's happening in WandaVision.
Right.
Actually,
we're getting a major cliffhanger.
So but it doesn't like any of these movies. You know what I mean? Could still have a tie to it.
They could, but they're gonna hit us with a cliffhanger.
Black Panther 2, July 8th, and then Captain Marvel 2, November 11th of next year. So the rollout is about to be bananas.
What Todd's talking about right now is what's been in the back of my mind since I saw the thing they put out today, because they said that the movie was going to be in theaters, like in theaters only on Christmas Day. Like, oh, we don't even know when Black Widow is coming out because y'all keep being so pressed hard to put this in the theater. Right. You know what I mean? Instead of reason so. Yeah, thank you. But we know that's gonna push everything back. Like if they keep sticking to their guns like this, like it's just gonna keep pushing everything back for us, which is a huge problem. So
I think we'll see how they'll play out. Like when June rolls around, if things aren't looking any better or a sign, like I think they're going to be forced. But I'm pretty sure, and I think Gage, we've talked about this once before. Like there's probably something contractually wise that is just keeping that junk from really truly being on Disney Plus, even though obviously it's their product that they can do. But it's just at this point, it's stupid to try to hang on to that thing, especially if it is set in the past and it doesn't truly just like Gage said, it has an after credit scene that could be placed virtually anywhere. But if the movie itself is in the past and doesn't really have an effect on it, it really just needs to be thrown out there. I'm sorry, charge 30 bones. You got my 30 bones. There's no way around that. You got that. Like,
I mean, here's the thing. I don't think that I honestly don't think there's any chance that this movie comes to that Black Widow comes to the theater and isn't on Disney Plus. I don't think that happens. I know the theaters are starting to open back up. You know what I mean? Like I walked through a movie theater today. There was nobody.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like there was nobody. Like I was at the mall, and there was there's a movie theater in the mall, and I walked through the movie theater entrance, and there was a guy behind the concession stand. That's it. You know what I mean? I almost took a picture of the kiosk. You know what I mean? Because you can go in and you can get your tickets or whatever from the screen. It doesn't. Ellis, I think you're absolutely wrong. Black Widow could have an incredible impact on the future of the MCU, specifically because it takes place in the past.
Right.
There are still so many loose ends that aren't tied up, that could be tied up. Also, there's a good chance that they are passing the torch from one Black Widow to another in that film, which you won't know that until this drops. And so
we don't know if the Skrulls gonna take place, if the Skrulls gonna have any effect on anything. Yeah.
Realistically, they could have introduced Sword in Black Widow. That might have been the first place we would have seen them instead of it being in WandaVision, right? So there's still a lot that could be established, including the possibility of why Monica Rambeau is upset for whatever reason with Captain Marvel.
Stop it, Alice.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what, Greg? If you're not willing to pay $30 for Black Widow to watch it at home, I can understand it because you could tune in here and listen to us talk about it. You know what I mean?
Then we're gonna tell you, and if you enjoy it, we're gonna tell you to do it, and then you're gonna go do it afterwards anyway. And then we say,
Domingo, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Kay.
Don't do that, Kay.
There's no way that Black Widow ends up as bad as Wonder Woman 1984.
Nowhere close to it.
Nah.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
That kind of tanked. Yeah.
It needed more to tank. That thing was bad.
I mean, you ain't. I mean, look. At the end of the day, obviously they can do anything. The only thing that I feel confident about is there is Spider-Verse, and there will be multiple Spider people. That's the only thing I feel confident about. You know what I mean? Is that like it's gonna happen? You know what I mean? And that for sure they'll at least be that. But specifically, what happens to Tom? Because again, he does have another ensemble movie on his contract, but clearly that's not planned for the next 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hey, listen,
Spider bus. Hey,
could be a thing. I mean, realistically, again, they have basically established that the Spider-Verse movie could just be. Listen, the one thing I'm positive is going to happen in this movie, okay, is they are going to make the meme a real life thing.
Oh yes,
they're going to do the Spider-Man.
Everybody point.
There's some way that
pointing at each other.
Shame on you, Marvel.
That's crazy.
Hey,
that's crazy.
That'd be such a missed opportunity if they don't.
After like X-Men, when they did the whole Juggernaut thing, like I'm like that caught me off. I didn't. If they don't do that meme, like Feige would have first done his first thing wrong. That would be the first thing that was absolutely wrong.
His biggest miss.
That'd be hilarious.
Marcus, I'm with you. I unlike Gage, I do like 2099 Spider-Man.
Like I think Spider-Man 2099 is fluke. However, it's still a Spider-Man. So you know what I mean? Like, it's like
either way, you still win.
Like it's still a Spider-Man. But like if they did 2099 and didn't do any of the rest of them, I'd be hot.
Now I can agree with that,
bro.
I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? But the other thing here's the other thing that's important about what they can do with the Spider-Verse is it gives them an opportunity to add so much diversity. That's just lacking across the MCU, right? If you do Miles and you do Gwen, right? Like, because we also could really use more female heroes in the MCU. It just that's what it is. So, but if you do 2099 and you do Miles and you do Gwen,
Gwen,
you are covered.
Set up.
You're doing pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing all right. Now, if Nicolas Cage shows up as Spider-Man Noir, I'm gonna have a fitness.
No, you won't.
No, if Noir shows up,
now, that's my guy.
You'll be hiding in the shadows the whole time. That's the after credit scene right there. Keeping tabs on him the whole time.
Oh man!
And then you have the cameo of Matt Murdock. You know, potentially.
Good potential.
Yeah, potentially.
Right. That Matt Murdock joint could be. Listen, Ellis, let me tell you something. The sad part about it is I don't have to write it down. It's all in my head.
He'll explain it to you. He'll be just like,
it's all up here, bro. It's under the hat. Hey, listen, if the Electric Company Spider-Man shows up, bro, it'll be fine. I'll be fine with it if they let Morgan Freeman do like a 30-second narration. That's gonna be fire, bro. Listen, if May Parker shows, like, again, there's so much potential, right? Because there is a version where Aunt May is the Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Zip to the future, and one of the other two Spider-Man, whether it's Toby or it's Andrew, actually does have their daughter. You know what I mean? And Mayday Parker shows up. You know what I mean? Like, they could do all of that. Listen to me, jokes. If they do the real Spider-Verse and the Super Sentai Spider-Man,
if the Super Sentai Spider-Man shows
over.
I need the Megazord. The Megazord shows up at some point.
That would jive.
If we see it, if somehow I can see this in the theater, I'm gonna yell if I see that happen. Like,
because listen, can you hear Tom Holland now making the same kind of references he was making to Star Wars? You did this in that really, really old movie. You know what I mean? Where they wrap the legs up. Can you imagine him just being like, from the Power Rangers or something like that? Like, bro,
you already know I'll lose off that one. Like, got it,
bro. That would be good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be a wrap. That would be a wrap.
We need to rent a theater.
That would be a wrap.
Hey, Sin, you know what I said? I just thought about when you said Kraven the Hunter. Yes. What if they actually are recruiting Kraven to be the one to track down Peter in this junk? Like, my man goes missing, he can't find him, and Kraven he comes forward.
That would excite me.
And Kraven's like, look, I can find anything on this planet.
I want
my money.
Yeah,
I like it.
You know what I mean? I mean, again, there's so much potential. There's so much potential that's out of control. And like, if we don't have to talk about
we most certainly can rent a theater.
Like, we absolutely should run a theater.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
If that's the first MCU,
I would put in on it.
I'm down.
Whatever.
I would
definitely.
That's
the first MCU movie back in the theater. Hey, I'm definitely running that joint up.
You know what I mean? Y'all get y'all tests. You know what I'm saying? And we just take temperatures at the door, buddy. Like, you listen.
We in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real picky. I love all of y'all, but I'm gonna be real picky.
It could be Norman Osborn. I mean, technically Norman Osborn is
absolutely hire Kraven.
But
you know what I mean? Again, it's just It's any number of things, you know what I mean? Like we have a Flash Thompson. There is something I feel like that's happening with Flash Thompson's storyline in the current universe, because they don't listen, sis.
These theories.
Like, there's so much time between now and this September. You know, right, sis?
We need to do a book. We need to do a theory show. I just realized that. Why are we not doing a theory show?
Theory show now? What are you talking about?
I mean, we're pretty much we're into the Spider-Verse.
We can do a dedicated theory show.
You're right. That's what I was trying to say earlier, because y'all be on point with a lot of stuff.
Just like realistically, you know what, Ellis? If he just goes home, then that doesn't work. It's the
he
no way home thing. That's right. Is it that the other? Is it that some kind of gateway is going to close and the rest of the Spider people can't go home?
Hey, they're stuck in this. Everyone's in the same universe.
Now they just a part of the MCU. You know what I mean, or whatever. It's all over the place. But listen, Flash Thompson's story at the end of the last movie, when you look at it, remember that like when they got back, he was sad because like his parents didn't show up. It was like his butler or something showed up or whatever to get him. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're leaning a particular direction with his character that they haven't completely fleshed out, but they've been kind of leaning into it over the last couple of movies. And you got to remember that this is a dude who hates Peter, but absolutely is in love with Spider-Man. And at the end of this movie, they jive like snitch that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Put that together for us, Mari.
So what does that mean? You know what I mean? You know what? It's so right.
It's just like Gage right. with his finger. Just like with his finger up, like.
You know what, Ellis?
Between that, get out of the comments.
Hey, Greg.
We ain't that level yet. No.
Relax, Greg.
Carnage ain't doing that yet. No.
Relax, Greg. All right, so check this out. Does anybody in the chat or on the show care about the Mighty Ducks? I'll wait.
I'm cool with seeing it. I enjoyed the movies, but I mean, I'm not pressed to jump on the shot. I'm gonna watch it, but
never seen it. What up, Alfonso?
You never seen
Mighty Ducks? Hey, listen, I don't put a whole lot of hope into Sony, Ellis. My hope is specifically in Feige. In Feige we trust.
There you go.
Some of y'all do.
We still got to get those.
Y'all see the new trailer for the Mighty Ducks.
T-shirts made up.
The new Mighty Ducks trailer did drop today. It's called Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Emilio Estevez back in action. I hear you, Cuddy. I don't know why. I'm not a big Mighty Ducks fan. The cartoon was cool. Trash Cobra Kai Rebel, probably. You know what I mean? Like I'm with you. I don't know why.
Hey, it's a time of continuations and reboots and all that.
I mean, look, it's going straight to Disney Plus, so let's not like.
It's a cool place to be. Extra more content for Disney Plus, even though they got a ton of it already.
I'm good. I can pass on this.
Right now, I feel like Disney is making an attempt to punch above their weight, right? So that anything that they have the rights to, they're just like, you know what? Let's just go back and see what happens. You know what I mean? Because they can. Exactly, Ellis. You got it already.
Yeah, you just like me.
That Twitch category is wrong. Thanks, Frosty. I mean, there could be a lot of new ideas, but I don't think new ideas are where it's at. And Ty, you're probably right. Punky Brewster is probably better than the Mighty Ducks. I mean, or it could just be a thing for Soleil Moon Frye still, which is also a possibility.
Cobra Kai.
I mean, it could. Listen, the potential for Cobra Kai when Cobra Kai came out was zero. Realistically, I would never have said that anybody was interested at all in Cobra Kai. Nobody was interested in a Karate Kid reboot in any way, shape, or form, and it worked. It just kind of took off. Like, it started off as just this YouTube premium thing that only a few people saw, and then people were like, "Nah, the joint's actually kind of good." And then Netflix picked it up, and everybody saw
was it. Yeah,
that was it.
So
I was wondering about that too. I didn't know what made that go
viral. Up from Blossom, that's where you at right now. I feel you. Yeah, I mean, are you a Mighty Ducks fan, Stefan?
Not really. Like, no. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like the Bad News Bears remade. No,
I feel you.
I mean, yeah.
No.
As a person who, I got a lot of respect for sports movies, but they all work exactly the same way. They all end exactly the same way. And since the Mighty Duck is a hockey movie, that's probably why it just didn't resonate with me. I just, say it that way. I mean, you're right, Perp. Cobra Kai is literally a phenomenon, but what I'm saying is it wasn't a phenomenon. Like, nobody cared. Like when they announced it, it was like, they're doing what? Look how old they are. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, my man is a car salesman. Like there's literally nothing about the Cobra Kai pitch that any of us right now in this chat would have cared about at all. The fact that it's a phenomenon now, part of the reason it's a phenomenon is because nobody thought it was going to work. Period.
I'm still
Cobra Kai is watching it because somebody else watched it by accident, or because somebody watched it who didn't feel like it was going, but like somebody watched it for a good laugh.
There was one of the things somebody threw on.
Actually, somebody can't stop watching it and put somebody else onto it.
Somebody threw it on late at night when they was trying to go to sleep. Like, let me just throw this on or whatever. And the next thing you know, it's 3:00 in the morning. They're like, this is pretty good.
Damn it. Oh, well, I got to finish watching it now. So let me just sit here the rest of the way.
Hey, nah, Ellis, we ain't sing Agatha's theme song. That thing smoked, though.
That's on fire.
I'm pretty sure that joint like #1 on Spotify right now. That Agatha theme song, man. No. Hey, listen, that new Rugrats finna be garbage. I don't care that they got the new cast.
Hey, look, it's the OG cast, which makes me that helps. But like Rugrats is one of those things. Like, you know what, you guys did what you did in the time with the Rugrats. It worked. It scares me that they're doing it now. I'm intrigued to watch it, but
no, you're not.
I am, just because I grew up watching Rugrats. And just hearing the voices and it's the OG cast, like that makes me feel okay. If it had been like all these random new voices on each one of the characters, I'd have been like, oh, nah.
So here's my thing. Casting the original voice cast is not the same thing as bringing in the original writers.
And that's true too. I will give you that. I'll give you that.
That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why the new Animaniacs worked. Mm-hmm. It was the original voice cast, but they brought in the right writers who just know how
it worked for it.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a very, very specific cadence to the way that Animaniacs works. And so the new Animaniacs really, it doesn't miss a beat. And it's kind of right where listen, hey Ellis. Hey man, put that on screen. Hey Ellis.
I was going for it.
He was a baby with them. Sir. Tobby, can we get out, Tobby? I hate it, yo. Tobby, do you think we can? I hate it.
I'm sorry, there was some ugly little babies.
But there
was some ugly little babies.
The ugliest babies.
They were disgusting. I'm sorry.
Like, Reptar! Shut up!
Like garbage pail kids.
Yeah.
And listen, all grown up, terrible. You know what I mean? Like that joint. But listen, on something we talked about like last week with Cree Summer getting all the black voice work. She was getting that work on Rugrats, bro. You know what I mean? Getting that work. Now, if they brought back a Codename Kid Next Door, I might be all about that. Woo! You might be able to do that right.
Codename Kid Next Door.
I might be okay with that.
Y'all can have that too. I didn't watch any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I literally only watched animated movies growing up. Like, that's it.
Hey, KB. Don't be mad because I sound like your homie, man. Oh man. Yeah,
you got Ed, and Eddie. You know what I mean? That was another classic.
That is. That's another. Listen, that's a theme song right there. That once you hear it, you cannot hear it.
And my boy Plank. We can't forget Plank. Plank.
Hey, dog. Hey, so listen.
Plank.
The entire show just about trying to get bread so you can get jawbreakers, dog. That's all they trying to get jawbreakers, bro. That's the whole show.
That's the whole. Hey, someone love jaw. One of the writers love jawbreakers. It's just like, hey, I want to make a show about
Ty, do not get me started right now.
We don't get that.
Don't get me started, Lord.
If you haven't already gone back and rewatched Recess on Disney Plus, then you don't want a new.
It's there, or maybe she didn't know. You may want to go look at. Yeah.
All right. So Rocket Power is the GOAT.
Dog, Rocket Power is fire. I love Rocket Power. If they try to do that now, I would probably hurl.
I don't know what that is. That's a foreign language to me.
Listen. Hey man, look.
Hey, when that theme song hit for Rocket Power,
right, 10 years is Phineas and Ferb. That joint is fire. Songs are fire. That's it, man. Yeah, man. Them jawbreakers, man. Of course, they was just trying to get that money. Them dudes had the most schemes, bro. They had the most schemes, bro. They was gonna get them jawbreakers one way or the other. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Look, real talk, still on some like they're going back and trying to redo something. You gonna like this, Domingo?
Domingo need to listen.
On all 3 pages, dog. Like you losing.
Yeah, yeah.
But check me out. So Nickelodeon, getting with the original creators of the Avatar. They ready to go back in and they starting with a new movie. Jokes, drop a little knowledge on them about this, man.
I'm so on for this.
And that He-Man reboot was garbage.
So Nickelodeon partnered with the original writer. Now here's the thing. So they're making a whole studio, Avatar Studios, specifically to do this. A studio that's going to be dedicated to just doing stuff for the Avatar. And of course, it's not only going to include The Last Airbender, it is going to include Korra as well too. So I am amped for this, and I know we've had this conversation. Like Avatar has so many potential good stories that they can jump into, just with the sheer amount of avatars that have been in the past that they could just grab one and tell a story from. I am all for this, especially in The Last Airbender. Don't get me wrong, the couple books that we got Last Airbender were all fire, and there's a huge time jump between The Last Airbender and Korra. So there's so many stories to be told. They could make a whole nother Last Airbender Part 2 series if they even decided to in between there.
If they don't grab my man Marcus Williams and do this.
Marcus Williams, Nickelodeon, I know you're listening.
Bro.
Yeah. Facts.
Dude has a whole plan laid out. Whole story laid out.
Ooh, Marcus, you tripping. Get
in contact with him.
You tripping, but I'm not going I can't do this with you right now, Marcus.
Is that 2 strikes with Marcus for you tonight? I think that's 2 strikes, isn't it?
Nah, listen, he corrected the other one. We're good.
Okay, so we're only one right now.
Iceman is not as good as it's not equal to Aquaman. Like, Aquaman is off center. Iceman is a G. A capital G. An OG, if you will. And you know what? Like, I think this is here's the thing, right? So the creators of the Avatar have seen mixed success with it. Like, they saw a lot of success with Voltron. But the other show, I can't remember what it's called now. It's the Prince of something that was on Netflix as well. Didn't quite as well. But like Avatar is their home. It's their bread and butter. It's the move. And if they listen, if they follow the formula, right? If they follow the formula, if they get us a new Avatar, and if they make sure the fight choreography is anywhere near as clean as it is in the other ones.
Out the park. Out the park.
Wrap.
Clean.
It's a whole wrap, yo.
Easy.
Follow the same catalyst that you had, and you got it.
I mean, if they do that, man, it's gonna be real hard to it's gonna be hard to mess that up. You know what I mean?
Storylines to them are great too. You know what I mean? I caught them on Netflix because I had a customer that asked me to paint a pair of sneakers of the young lady in all green that's blind. Talk. Thank you.
Hey,
and I started following the series.
That's Kay's favorite.
Yeah. She's a beast. It reminds me of like the old kung fu flicks, like the characters base and the stories. So that's a great anime to me. Yeah. The Airbenders are great, and there's already a following for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean,
if they reanimate that, oh my god.
Yeah,
that'd be insane. That'd be insane.
I would certainly love to see them dig into some of the stuff that they got into after the end of the first series before Korra takes place.
In the books.
Yeah, like they do in the books. But again, Aang is like 100th in line of all of these other avatars that came before him. So there's so many stories to be told.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You can go back. You can literally go back.
Correct. So that's the thing that's so dope about it, is that there really is the idea of the story in and of itself makes it so that you can continuously tell that story over and over and over again with a different avatar, and you just have to make it, you know, you want to see more lion turtles. They got some of the craziest animals in that joint.
Do. Hey, yo, Purby, I heard that Villain Song is fire too. That one is sitting right there for me. I've heard great things about Vinland Saga. Looking forward to that.
I mean, I don't know, Marcus. We'll see. So look, yeah. Why don't we talk about that for a minute? Sin, you just proclaimed prior to us starting this live show that you have now found your official favorite TV show of all time. Period. Point blank. And then
that's heavy. That
heavy. As far as live action goes, I watched Alice in Borderland this week. I started episode 1. I did not cut it off until the end of episode 8. I knew about the second episode that, for me, my favorite TV show ever, period, point blank, nothing was going to top this.
Damn.
I knew into the second episode. It's just something it's a show that takes place in Japan, and I had to look it up. It is based off a manga, and I knew something was off when I was watching it, because I'm looking at the first episode, and I'm into the second one like, this just feels like an anime brought to life properly. You know what I mean? Like, the whole vibe I was getting watching it was the whole Disney MCU thing, like seeing Iron Man and Captain America being brought to life and it being done correctly was the complete vibe I was getting of this. Like, I'm noticing when it switches to a new arc, I'm like, okay, we're going to this arc now. I'm seeing the characters' outfits and their poses. I'm like, I could just visualize this as an anime clearly. Like, they do it so well, and the story is so gripping and intense. Like, it holds on and does not let go. I think it's for a cerebral person, you would love it, trying to just put it all together and figure everything out. Like, okay. Oh, absolutely. I think that because I feel the whole anime tie-in, the whole manga tie-in with it, I don't know how you'll necessarily feel about certain things. But the mind game that it plays.
How bad are the cliffhangers?
I did not stop until episode 8 was over.
Perfect.
And then once it ends,
it's only 8 episodes.
Only 8. It's quick. It's only
how long? But how long are the episodes?
About 48 minutes.
Oh wow!
All right, so that's not bad. That's one day's worth of work. Mm-hmm. It's an 8-hour. It's an 8-hour shift.
Yeah. Look, I knew nothing about it that way. I knew nothing about this going in.
You know I love you, Sin. But you be trying to set me up and be having me like, you be like, hey, you know what you should do? You should watch One Piece.
One Piece.
You still should watch One Piece.
Kind of months, bro.
Well, it's like 1 million episodes.
Yeah, dog. Like, you really be like setting me up like, hey, you know what's the best joint? You should watch this joint. These my favorite. Like, you really telling me right now this joint bumped One Piece. You listen.
He said live action. He said live action.
Thank you, Jokes.
He specifically said live action. And I was getting ready to say One Piece.
I didn't know it was live action.
Yes, it's live action.
He said live. He specifically made sure he said live action. Marcus,
is there fighting?
Wait,
it's
one
action.
trash. Marcus, you can go now.
Yeah. He can get the hell out of the comments.
No, I'm sorry.
He can get out of the comments.
One Piece, I tell you, has.
Hey, listen. Hey. Why is Marcus digging so hard? Hey, listen, Marcus. We not starting a wrestling show, bro. You don't have to be the heel if you don't want to. And we already got Ellis. So, like, you don't have to be.
Hey, two heels is good. We can roll with that.
Is that what?
Look,
hey, LSW is now LS Wrestling. That's what's happening. Is that what's popping right now?
It is what it is.
I mean, listen. Now here's the problem, Sin. Again, you know I love you, bro. Right now, Ty is backing you up, and Ty loves Superman. So right now, I don't know, bro.
Right now,
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
Hey,
that's what it is.
Enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that's it
right
right
there.
there.
I gotta work with him now for this, but when it's over, we're gonna be back to beefing.
He's your Frieza.
Yeah.
Right now,
That's your Frieza to your Goku right now.
Okay.
Here's something interesting.
My enemy is my friend.
And here's something that's interesting too, because you asked like, was there action in it? This is a psychological like horror thriller type of joint, like something that I kind of wouldn't necessarily like lean to, but my man Alex, shout out to Alex, he put me on like, yo, check it out, it's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, word, I just threw it on like he said it's dope. Like I trust his judgment.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, once the first episode starts rolling, you get into it, couldn't cut it off. Just trying to figure out how you're gonna get through this is woo intense.
8 episodes.
8 episodes on Netflix. Alice in Borderland.
All right, I'm down. Alice in Borderland.
Yeah.
8 episodes.
8 episodes. Season 2 is already greenlit.
Is it subtitled?
Oh, thank you 100 times over, Gage, for reminding me. When I first started this up, it was in English. I got 30 seconds in, I stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped, hit my man like, dog, do you have the Japanese audio with he was like, yes, don't worry, it's on there. I had to switch. The dub is horrendous.
What? Why are you doing that, Ellis? Why are you doing that, Ellis?
But nah, switch the audio, put on the subtitles. Good to go.
All right.
Yes. This is the Slam Crate phenomenal AJ Styles t-shirt. It most certainly is. I was on that for one because I wanted the belt emblem Jones. I wanted them Jones, so I was on it for a little while.
Oh, yes, and also shout out.
Attack on Titan is major right now.
Attack on Titan is fire.
That's
fire.
Shout out to Attack on Titan for being the #1 show in America right now.
Yeah,
that is amazing. That is a huge feat. Round of applause for all them.
For all of you that are watching Attack on Titan and I haven't read the manga, but I obviously being me, I know certain events and things that happen in the manga. Just prepare yourself. Like if you think things have gotten serious in the beginning up to where we're at right now, you are in for a ride.
It only gets better.
It gets better. It gets crazier.
Yeah, I heard it get savage.
Boy.
Real savage.
Oh, Ty, what was wrong with you, dog? You watch it in English? See, that's why I can't talk to this dude. That's why I like Superman folks, man, I swear.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like he would have had me in here watching the English joint, and I'd have came back next week like, "Hey, Sin, bro, what you talking about?"
Make sure you put the Japanese audio on and just cut on the subtitles.
All right, so just sit down and prepare to read. I'm with it.
Yeah.
See, look, Frosty in there, English dub. You must like Superman.
Bruh, one of the only English dub animes that you'll watch is like Yu Yu Hakusho. That was probably
man.
That's probably the only jump.
Hey, Ellis calling for your fan card, bro.
Hey, look, you know me. I have tons of
Hey, you merchandise from Wish.
Hey, the Slam Crates has some fire stuff in there. The t-shirts were a nice little perk. Ellis, Ellis, you doing this like you probably don't have some of these shirts laying around somewhere in your house. So you stop it. Because you know what? There was a Triple H shirt in one of those Slam Crates, and I guarantee you probably did the one for just that month to get that Triple H shirt. So you stop it. Moving on.
Hey, listen.
Right now,
all right, hold on. Alfonso, Team Superman. I love you. I'm sorry that you are Team Superman. Ty, hey, pop that on screen. Ty Simpson, I be medicated reading sometimes.
And to respond to Ty, I was too. hey, look, don't lie.
I need y'all to figure that toughness out.
Hey, look, after the first episode, I was like, no, I gotta get a drink for the rest of this one. This is gonna be one of them type of shows. Nah.
Hey, listen, hey, you right, Leah. They just wear their underwear on the outside. They don't know what's going on, man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. And then I'm gonna just leave it. I can't possibly forgive the Return of Superman for putting belt loops and a belt on Superman's underwear. Why are you wearing a skin tight that fits underneath of your clothes? No doubt. Y'all go back.
Wow.
This is from Return to Superman. Check out my man Belt Loops.
Wow. Emo, Greg.
Hey, listen, I don't respect the House of L. The House of L put belt loops on their underwear. Yes, the original Captain Underpants.
I can't respect the house that produces such a weak child.
I can't. Like, I just. Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you what. I like Supergirl. Now, y'all saw the casting for the new Supergirl?
Yeah. Congrats to her. Yeah.
I think that's kind of dope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's gonna turn out. But I think
see the video when she got the news. You see the video when she got the news.
Oh yeah, she cried.
Yeah,
like a baby, and I think that's dope. You know what I mean? It's not worse than the bat
nipples.
I mean, at least the bat nipples. They're part of at least their armor. You know what I mean? Like that literally is just like Superman being like, Batman got a belt. I want a belt.
Pretty much.
Like, it's a bright yellow belt. Cool. Put it on if it's got utilities. It doesn't. 2, it's not useful. It's holding up nothing. And 3, there are belt loops in your underwear. Get out of here, guy. I'm going to laugh at you when you show up. I'm going to laugh at you when you show up to save me. Straight up.
Nobody respects him.
Terrible. Yeah, you don't remember when in one of the Batman movies, the armor for Batman actually they put nipples on it.
Those are George Clooney's and
yeah. Is there a real superhero we can call? Yes, his name is Spider-Man. Listen, here's what I want to do before we wrap up and get out of here. I want to talk to you, Stefan, a little bit about your artwork, what you do, how you do it, all of that jazz, man, because you do some phenomenal work. So we want to spend some time talking about you, sir.
Feel free.
You know, here's the thing. Most of the time when we talk to you, we talk about like the anime stuff that you paint or Star Wars stuff that you paint with the dope, you know, black light sensitive, you know what I mean, secret compartment joint. That's how I feel. Like your painting's got a secret compartment. You know what I'm saying? That like, you know what I mean, that hidden piece. But here's the thing. I see you post a lot of you doing like cars, helmets, like people bring you stuff that is just outside of what I would, you know, again, it's not the kind of stuff we see when we see you at a convention and you're at a table that you have hanging behind you. Appreciate that. For all of y'all who are watching, again, y'all can see in the chat. If you want to follow Stefan, his link is up in the chat, and for his website as well as for his Facebook.
I'm gonna start reading it this weekend, Marcus.
So I just how are people finding you, and what is this other stuff you do besides stuff similar to what's behind me?
Well, and you make a good point. Lately, I've been reinventing myself, but it's kind of like, you know, and this is what I enjoy loading snacks for. Y'all never stay on one topic, and that's what I think makes y'all brand and y'all show so great. Y'all touch everything. So I adopted that from comic books into the art world. So that's why 1 minute you'll see me working on a canvas that's blacklight sensitive, and then lately I came up with I love engraving, and there's nobody you can go to learn it. So thanks to YouTube, I learned all the equipment I needed to get, and I kept watching videos. And see, with all of the comic book and anime history that I have, I apply that to a medium that's never been created before. Right. So that's where you get now. Like my newest product right now is I've been taking, because there's a lot of anime and comic book guys are car enthusiasts. So they go to car shows as a part of a summer, pastime. So what I do is you don't see these custom parts that I wanted to create from these ideas that we talk about. You don't ever see them transferred to maybe a medium of automobiles. Yeah. So since I taught myself how to engrave, I just basically took car parts. I used to work at a laboratory before I started Art-o-torium manufacturing. So I had a bunch of years of manufacturing before I decided to create my own business. So what I was taught from a company I worked at was how to polish.
Okay.
So I can take any piece of metal and make it look like chrome. And then I taught myself how to engrave. So now you take a conversation like yourself where Spider-Man or I may be having a conversation with Joe or Sin about anime, and I just incorporate that into a car piece now.
Okay.
And then I created something new. So yeah, this, believe it or not, the valve covers that you see me doing for these Honda cars, I just did a Demon Slayer. That's the newest one that I've done already. I still apply the same thing as you guys see me do at conventions. I only do it once. I number it, I sign it, and then I put it on Marketplace. And I did a Itachi piece that was a Japanese motif that got 1 million views, and I've never done anything that went viral. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But basically, it's the same thing that you guys see me create with art. Like a limited edition comic book. It's the same premises for my canvases. And it's the same premises for these automobile pieces that you're seeing now. So I'll just put them out there.
Frosty said she got that
I know
piece.
I know.
Yeah, that Sin wanted.
She gonna come up off that jump.
You're not coming above that thing, bro.
No, but you know, I need the originals. I need the original on the wall.
And you know what? In lieu of some of our conversations, I got some stuff that's directly meant for loading snacks, but I have something for Gage exclusively because the concept goes like this. I'm not going to say what he said because I don't want to ruin the surprise, but y'all had a conversation one time and he kind of said I was expensive. So I'm like, really? So now I'm creating something that's you know, when you see something that you love,
I can attest to that.
And you know it was for you, and you gotta get it before anybody else gets it because it's dope, and you know it was for you. That's the direction I'm going in.
My man, 100%.
Yeah. So
I want to say, look, Frosty says she dying. She wants one of those pieces. She got a Civic that she's like, I know, but she's a. Oh, you know what? Hold on.
I'm about to say, you might as well go grab.
Should I just go?
Just go grab. Yeah.
Okay,
I wish Sin could take like his whole camera with him because like his wall in his main room like has. Well, we were actually recording in there. Actually has like 3 of your paintings up on it. It's amazing.
And you know, again, I got to thank you guys, Loading Snacks, because the world wouldn't really know, other than me going to conventions. The world wouldn't know what I do unless it was actually. You know, from what you guys have promoted from me. So
this right here, bro.
That Grievous.
This joint right here, bro. All the fire. Look at Frosty. Now, Frosty loves her some Darth Maul. You know what I mean? Sin got a couple pieces, man. Sin.
Yeah.
Show us what you got, bro.
You know, I got my man Midoriya right here.
Yeah, that was the first. Yeah, that's the first one.
First one I ever got from me.
The very first one. Yeah.
And you can hit me over my head for these back to back.
Oh no, that was a rap. That was a rap.
I bought these at the same time.
And Dobby's like the hottest character in the series right now. His backstory with the manga is fire. It's fire.
His story in the manga.
And I've never went public. I've never went public. Yeah, you can't find that really on my Instagram other than you holding it.
You holding it, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Ocean City, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
That thing.
Yes, it was.
At Kabuto, when I saw that, I was like, Sin looked at me and I was like, yeah, Sin, go ahead. You know
kind of hard to see. Hey, you might have to turn out the main light.
Turn your main light out. Yeah, turn your main light out.
Because because the scaling on that joint is incredible.
Man, whole room. Sin got the whole.
Yeah, that's hot.
That's it, man.
Yeah, that's
hot. The eyes from there already.
Yeah, and Dobby's lights up too.
Look at that joint, man.
Yeah,
them blue eyes. Woo.
So, Gage, you know what? What also inspired me too, and I wanted to add this, man, because every time
he don't do weak shit.
Y'all know what to do, man. Y'all got hit him up.
You got the website, you got the Facebook, hit him.
Ty, he don't do weak shit. Remember that.
Yeah, because and it's just to help your listeners, understand, if they ever went to an art gallery, you don't ever see any fine art anime, and that's all I do. That's all I create.
Yeah.
I limited one time. I painted once, and that's basically it. You're the only one with it.
Yeah, it's real talk, man. It's a beautiful thing. And like I think our first few conversations, you know what I mean? Like when we first met, as we were talking, it was kind of like, yeah, man, like this anime world is a whole thing, bro. Like you can really, you put your foot in it. You know what I'm saying? Like you put your whole foot in it, man. So yeah, man, like it's always a pleasure, man, to rap with you. I do miss seeing you at shows.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I appreciate the support. Gage, I have to thank you as well because you've challenged me right now to get back to my comic book roots, what started this, because I don't have a lot of comic book stuff. Especially not like you've never seen me go off on Spider-Man.
No.
So yeah, I mean, you giving me.
Here's the thing: Loading Snacks is giving me some homework. Probably won't be a thing because it's Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't like. It's just look at my wall, bro. It's all. Yeah. It's just I'm like when it comes to Spider-Man, like I'm like jokes, like I'm the target audience. Like I am. It ain't no stopping. You know what I mean? If you start doing Pokemon, you might as well just go ahead and take the account number.
Yeah,
if this Charizard show up, it's a wrap.
Pokemon for jokes and One Piece for sin. Because like Jesus. I said, that's
where's my credit card?
That's 2021. That's 2021. And then no. And then I gotta get into that Spider-Verse for you. I have to,
bro.
Because you've never seen me go all out, and that's my roots. But I've gotten, you know what I mean. I had to go where the money was when starting a business.
That's
but
what
now I can go back. Yeah, now I can go back.
Yeah, man. Listen, so I am listen, y'all make sure follow Stefan again, Art-o-torium.
Yeah, Facebook. Please. And y'all have my if Loading Snacks could put up my Instagram as well, I'd appreciate it. I didn't put it in the
we can pull that and throw that in there. That's fine. Right, y'all all just go and make sure you're following this man. He is doing incredible work. You know, y'all have only seen, I'm sure, just a small portion of it between what we've but you know, look, it is, there's something to be said for not just being a great artist, but also having humility and just being a great person. Like you're always really good to us. Whenever you see us, you're like, man, I got an exclusive for y'all. Nobody.
Y'all broke. You know whether you realize it or not, y'all broke a lot of stuff. Y'all broke. I mean, like literally, the world saw it through your brand first, and I enjoy that.
Yeah,
I enjoy that.
That's what's up, man. I certainly appreciate it. We definitely have to do this more often. There's the Instagram link for any of y'all. So again, just make sure you go follow my man across everything. Stefan, I want to thank you for joining us.
No. Thank you for the support as well. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the theories.
Yes, sir.
Y'all definitely got to keep going with this because this is fun.
Yeah, the theories ain't gonna stop because until they give us answers.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And y'all make it so interesting because y'all pose questions that every comic book head we all ask, but there's not a platform to be heard on. So thank God for Loading Snacks.
Appreciate that, man. I really do.
Thank God for you.
So listen, tomorrow night, cutscenes, 8:30. We'll be back on here to talk video games, and there will be a lot to talk about because there are a couple of things happening tomorrow. There is the demo for Outriders goes live tomorrow. PlayStation has a state of play tomorrow. Yesterday they talked about PSVR 2. It's a lot popping. There's a lot popping. There was an AI conference where Phil Spencer was talking about a lot of, again, there's a lot to cover, and GDC is coming up. So Game Developers Conference is happening, so there's a lot popping there.
Into that time.
Friday, yes, RIP. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Friday, what's on deck for Friday? Twitch 8:30.
Diablo 3.
Oh my God.
Them talking about Diablo 2 getting remastered and Diablo 4, whatever. We just figured Diablo 3 is the way to go. So, you know, look, we're not starting from the beginning. And listen, Chris Lighton, if you're in there, if you're still here, hanging around,
right,
lurking.
I know how you get down in the Diablo. Feel free. But yeah, so that's Friday night on Twitch. We are considering some other things. again, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out Beats and Beatdowns, it's on our YouTube page. It is in the Facebook scroll. I just repost it. We are really looking for you all's feedback on that. What you like, what you want to see. We want to do more stuff like it, and we want to kind of grow that concept of taking like a fighting game, maybe not even always a fighting game. Just y'all tell us what y'all want to see. We think that we're at a place now where we want to start building content that you're asking for.
That's negative.
There can be more Superman if he is getting beat up.
Where's the eject button?
In it,
We don't even have to have a meeting off of this one.
He can get bodied. You know what I mean? So we want to do more stuff like that, and we want to involve the community. We want to kind of hear what you all are looking for and what you want to see, and we want to build stuff around that. And so this is kind of the pilot / litmus test for us for that kind of content. We have some other things that we are considering and brewing. And again, if you're not following us everywhere, please do. Jokes, if you could drop the Linktree link for me. Again, if you're following us on one place, as you can see when you look at the chat, there are people on Facebook and people on Twitter and people in Twitch and what have you. If you're not following us in all of those places, we just appreciate the support. If you would go and follow us across the board on all of those places, it really helps us out. We'd appreciate if you take a look at our Patreon. Your dollars certainly help us for sure, so we can keep doing this and get better at it and do more things like what we're doing now. No belt loops on the undies for sure. So we greatly appreciate that. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dorch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. Again, if you haven't checked out, we're still in February. It's a little late. We're a little past Valentine's Day, but Sin did do some hard work on these episodes of Anime Vault Valentine's Edition. So 4 episodes that are there for y'all to go see and check out.
Yes.
If you haven't watched those shows, he'll tell you whether or not it's worth watching. So he might save you some time if you spend a few minutes checking that out.
Absolutely.
That. Man, we have some things coming out. We're working on the possibility of doing something with Otakon. Nice. We have a couple of things brewing in April. We are working. Next month, we will be working with, we'll have some folks on, like we have Stefan on now. We want to kind of spotlight some folks for Women's History Month next month. So we'll be doing that. We are staying super duper busy. And we do really appreciate all of y'all's support. We love having you all in the chat with us. Messing around and having fun with each other too. If you guys aren't following each other, follow each other.
Yeah, you should by now.
You know what I mean? Make sure you're doing that. Let's all support. I kind of want to throw something out there. I talked with Sin about this a little bit earlier, but we are considering doing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Twitch Rage. Considering doing a day where we literally just take a day. And we may do something around charity or something for it, but we just want to take a day and we're just gonna raid all day for like 6 hours. Like just jump into somebody's joint, you know what I mean? Like have everybody join us. We'll play some games for 30 minutes, an hour, or something like that. Maybe do something charity wise, and then we're all gonna go and raid somebody else's stream. And then we'll come back and we'll do it again. And then we'll come back and we'll do it again. And we'll come back and we'll do it again. And I don't know if anybody's ever done anything like it, but that's what we want to do.
Hey,
we got to figure out what the logistics are. But if you have ideas around something like that, if you're down to join us, man, make sure y'all people follow us so that when we do it, we can have as many people rating as possible. I think
that'd be real dope. That'd be real dope. Put a lot of smiles on people's faces.
Yep. And especially if we can do something that will help build something around charity, we'll probably do that. If I can get it squared away by the time April comes, we might tie it to the autism shirts we'll be selling for April for Awareness Month. So there's a lot happening. We're going to talk about it all again tomorrow when we see y'all tomorrow night. So again, I appreciate all of you being here. I really do love each and every one of you for your support and your time. For myself, for Sin, for Jokes, special thank you and shout out to Mr. Stephen Jones.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Loading Snacks as well. Thank you as well.
Thank you, fam.
Thank you.
With that, we are out. Toodles and loos.
Alrighty.